My name is Leah. I'm 27 years old, and I finally graduated with a master's degree in finance from the University of Washington. I thought that my family would respect and acknowledge my efforts, but right at my graduation dinner, the secret I had kept for so long, the investments I had made while studying and when I started working were worth millions. They turned on me and accused me of being selfish and instead of being proud, demanded that I hand everything over to my sister Naomi because she needed it more than me. In that moment, I broke down in tears, but I also stood up for myself for the very first time. This money is mine. I worked for it. No one has the right to demand it. I walked out of the restaurant, cut all ties, and began the journey of reclaiming my freedom. Have you ever found yourself in a situation like mine, where your own family refuses to see your efforts and only treats you as a resource? I grew up in a middle-class family in a nice house in the suburbs. I was the overlooked child, and my sister was the golden girl. Everything she did was praised and rewarded, while my achievements brushed aside. The invisible child. I won the state math competition at 12 years old. I took first place above thousands of students, and my parents didn't attend the reward ceremony, busy with Naomi. Any small achievement my sister made was celebrated and rewarded. Naomi got fancy birthday parties. I got a grocery store cake. My mother just said, "You're older now. Your sister needs more." I became the invisible one. It was easier. I learned not to look for attention rather than be disappointed. My small bedroom was my refuge. It was where I devoured books, worked on math problems, wrote in my journal, and imagined a different future where I could stand on my own without waiting for anyone's approval. I cried sometimes, all because of a careless remark from my father. Naomi is truly smart. Leah is just hardworking. Those words cut into me like a knife, a reminder that no matter how much I tried, I would never be good enough for them. I doubted I was good enough, because in their eyes, Naomi could do no wrong. The only person who kept me from feeling completely lost was my grandmother, Emily. She came to my room sometimes at night, bringing a warm drink and a gentle hug. She saw me. When I did well on a test, she would write me a little card. She would say, "You deserve to be loved, Leah, whether your parents see it or not. Don't let their behavior make you doubt yourself." It was because of her that I learned to believe in myself, even when my own family tried to deny it. The pain never went away, but as a child, I had no choice. But I lived for the day I could escape. I didn't party in school like Naomi. I studied. I worked in the library. I tutored other students and spent long hours studying. I pushed myself hard to get perfect grades, while Emily was sent to a private school, and if I even slipped a grade, I got a lecture while Naomi always underperformed. My hard work paid off. I got a full scholarship to university. My parents didn't even acknowledge this, too busy preparing for Naomi's prom night. That night changed my life. I did all the advanced courses I could, and while I studied, Naomi was rewarded with vacations and gifts, despite her lower-than-average grades. I didn't try to change my parents. I knew I couldn't, so I quietly worked on the only thing I could change, my future path. I poured all my energy into my grades because that was my path to the future of freedom from my family. Life wasn't easy. Even with a full scholarship, I still needed living expenses, and I worked in the library. I tutored other students and survived on noodles while I studied long hours to achieve my dream. I owed no one anything, least of all my family. My life was not like other students. No parties, no weekends away, just work and study. A life-changing event was meeting Professor Mark, an elderly lecturer who taught about financial markets, and he instilled in me the importance of investments and how to go about this. He explained patiently, and through this knowledge I made some important small investments that grew beyond expectations and my wildest dreams. He mentored me, and the words, "You only truly understand the markets when you invest your own money," stayed with me. And although scared, I invested the tiny savings I had and added to this when I could. With careful research, I invested in a small tech startup, which was eventually bought out by a tech giant for a staggering amount. My shares suddenly turned into more than $10 million. In the meantime, my parents continued to indulge my sister. She was often jobless with no direction, partying wildly and taking vacations. All the time they paid her way, supporting her and often paying her debts. I started working for an investment firm, and my parents now called me, asking me help just this once. Pay Naomi's credit card, pay the mortgage, or they would lose the house. I did this as I thought this is what family did. It became expected. I was a resource, not a daughter. No one ever knew. No thank yous, no hugs, just expectations. Naomi continued drifting in and out of jobs, partying, vacationing, and changing boyfriends. She lived at home. Everything she wanted, my parents indulged her. Each new venture, they funded, never mind that they all crashed. In their eyes, she was the intelligent one, the creative one, could do no wrong. She just hadn't found her niche yet. There were moments when I tried to tell them about my company, hoping they might just once feel proud of me. But the reaction was always the same. A few absent-minded nods, quickly followed by questions for Naomi about her new boyfriend or the party she had just attended. I stopped trying. The only emotional support I ever had was from Granny Emily, who always encouraged me. I moved to Seattle and started my own consulting firm. It was small and doing well. I had never told anyone that I was doing so well. They never asked. Whenever I tried to mention my work, they always changed the subject to Naomi, and her life was the only one that was important. After all, she was considered the golden girl, the favorite, and I was the invisible, responsible one. I lived in a small apartment, drove an old sedan, and did not advertise my success. When anyone asked my parents, I was just Leah, working a regular office job. They just didn't care. They had no idea I sat in high-stakes meetings, signing contracts worth millions of dollars, and they didn't need to know. In their eyes, I would always remain nothing more than Naomi's shadow. I finished my master's after-hours assignments and finally graduated. I arranged a dinner and naively thought my parents would be proud of me. They actually came. That was a good sign. My mother wore a new blue dress, my father his gray suit, and Naomi was dazzling in a fitted sequined gown, her hair curled in perfect waves. She entered as if the evening belonged to her, smile radiant, eyes brimming with confidence. I took a deep breath, smiled to greet them, and we began on first course. I tried to share information about my degree, but my mother wasn't listening and only turned to shower Naomi with praise over a photo she had just posted online. I had my laptop open next to me because I was waiting for an important client to give me instructions. I left the table briefly, and Naomi, being inquisitive, opened it fully and screamed, looking like she'd found a gold mine. "You're hiding millions while we struggle to pay the bills. You've been lying to us." My father spoke loudly. "This belongs to your sister. She needs it more than you do. You're the oldest child. It's your responsibility to provide for her." Everyone was staring. "You had this kind of money all along," my mother stammered, her voice trembling, not with pride, but with betrayal, "and we nearly lost our house." She forgot I paid the house, sent them money to pay the debts, but now they wanted everything. They didn't care that I'd spent nights working 2 jobs and long days to get here. "This isn't fair," Naomi said. I opened my mouth, trying to stay calm. "Naomi, that money came from years of work and investment. I didn't hide anything. But my father slammed his hand against the table, making the glasses rattle. "Enough. We nearly lost the house while you sat on a pile of money. Leah, you're nothing but selfish." My face flushed hot, tears welling, but not yet falling. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every time I had quietly sent money home to cover their debts, all of it was erased in an instant. Now I was a traitor who denied the family. Now, with everyone in the room watching and listening, my mother said, "You have to give it to Naomi. She's fragile. She needs it. You're responsible. You don't need it." My father also shouted, "We raised and fed you. It's your duty." Naomi started sobbing, saying, "I need it. I have nothing. I can't take care of myself." My tears, held back for so long, spilled over. My voice trembled, rang out. Every achievement of mine was buried so Naomi could shine. I won the state math championship, and you didn't show up. I earned a full scholarship, and you ignored it. I fed myself, studied on my own, built my success from nothing. Every dollar in that account is from my own sweat and effort. No one has the right to demand it, not even you. I don't owe anyone a single thing. For years, I've paid your debts, sacrificed for you, and still, in your eyes, I'm nothing but selfish. From this day forward, I will no longer be your resource. I won't be the invisible child. I will be myself. I wiped my tears and said, "Naomi, I've loved you my whole life and let you take everything, affection, recognition, even money. I'm tired. I'm human, and I deserve to live my life for myself." My father exploded. "If you walk out that door, you walk out of our lives." I realized with absolute clarity that this was the end. The vault had cracked open. I picked up my laptop, slung my bag over my shoulder. I turned and said, "Consider me no longer your daughter," and left. I felt free and knew I would have to start over. It was painful, but I had to do it for my sanity. The following day, my phone rang and buzzed relentlessly. My mother, my father, unknown numbers. I didn't answer. I deleted the texts, but I could see the notifications, all similar. "You're selfish. You're ungrateful. You owe us." Naomi posted on Facebook, a long post about selfish siblings, wealthy and abandoning family. Total strangers post terrible comments about ungrateful daughters and toxic siblings. My parents took a direct approach when I wouldn't answer them and arrived in my office with threats and instructions to set up a fund for Naomi. Seeing I was the older sister, I was responsible for her. I had to call my lawyer to draft letters to all family members to cease harassment or suffer the consequences. I also emailed my parents and informed them I would not be making any payments to anyone and not to contact me. The only kind voice was Granny Emily. When she called, I cried. She told me I did the right thing, not to doubt myself, and that I had worked for every penny and I deserved it. She said, "Use your mind and your heart to do good." My business grew slowly, and I threw off the chains that had surrounded me since childhood. Naomi continued to drift, jobless, living at home, supported by my parents. I don't suppose that will change while they enable her. I remembered Granny Emily's words and set up a scholarship that would support young people who come from difficult backgrounds to study finance. If you feel invisible to or abandoned by your family, you do not need to prove yourself. Step out, build your life, and find yourself. Find freedom like I did when I finally stepped away, letting go of all the expectations. If this story resonated with you, or you recognized yourself, like and subscribe to the channel for more true life stories.